This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You chose to be here. This is not by accident that you're here now and in this program. You want to take your performance to the highest level. You want to dominate. You physically work hard. Now that's important. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available to you. Not just for some, but for you to live it fully. You can do it too. Enjoy this journey. This program is your secret weapon. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio.
And I love having a secret weapon. This is Be a Beast right here on Nelson Radio, KLAA, AM 830, with Dave Austin, the pontificator of all performance knowledge. How do you like that? Pontificator of all performance knowledge.
Well, that's too big a word for me. So, I mean, I got knowledge, but I don't even know what that word means.
There you have it. You can reach out for us at any time. 888-888-2136. Let me say that slower. 888-888-2136. Click through at nelsonradio.com, or easiest of all, text the word BEAST to 313131, and Dave and I will get you engaged in how to improve your performance, whether it's in the locker room or the boardroom. We can help.
Oh, amen to that. So each show, it gets so exciting. You know, last show we had Frank Shankwitz, the founder of Make-A-Wish. Amazing man. I mean,
Right.
What he's doing. And this week, we're back out now and going into the entertainment section. Podcast is becoming bigger and bigger. But our guest this week, he's sitting in the studio with us with a yellow shirt on saying, I am unemployable. Anybody out there unemployable?
And on the heels of the Great Recession, there's a lot of people that'll sit up straight and go, all right, what about me? What do I do to get re-engaged and create my own vision if I can't get employed, but have that sense of purpose and a resource, an outlet, some way to be seen?
Well, exactly. And, you know, Michael O'Neill, who's on the show today, he took a situation where he lost everything and turned it into a positive. And that's what Be a Beast is all about. We're about change. It's your attitude, how you take on things. You know, sometimes you might lose your job and becomes the biggest blessing, but it's your choice to turn it into that biggest blessing.
Right. And with last week's show with Frank Shankwitz, and what we talked about with Roger Anthony's Learning Anchor System, he anchored Frank's message, the founder of Make-A-Wish, with ABUA. ABUA, the blue whale.
I love it. Every time, just with one word, you can take something and change your attitude towards it. So when you think of ABUA, you think abundance. That's blue whale's the biggest animal out there. And so you know there's abundance. Even when there looks like lack all around you, you can either let that affect you and take you down, or you can rise up and be ABUA.
And just like you said, it's a choice. And, you know, let me just brag on you for a little bit, because instead of bang on you, I'm going to brag on you.
Oh, my gosh.
and some of the athletes that you've worked with. Leah O'Brien, Olympic champion, 3-time gold medalist, 2-time world champion. Mike Tomczak, 2-time Super Bowl champion. You've had pitching baseball organizations, the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers that you've worked with. You worked with the Olympic team. And so why is that these successful stories are coming out of the Be a Beast training? It's having that mental edge, that ability to, given whatever situation, that mind trigger that snaps you back into performance when something gets in the way.
Yeah, it's what it is. We have so many thoughts going on in our heads. It's about centering and then just keeping it simple. I mean, it sounds complicated. All those results you just spoke about, all I do is come in and simplify. And so when we can do that and we can see that there's great answers to any question, and there is no solution to any problem within the problem. You have to rise above the problem. That's where all the answers lie. So Michael O'Neill's coming in with a perfect example of that, and I can't wait to bring him on.
And this is exactly how our mental performance training impacts people. You don't have to be an Olympian. You don't have to be a star athlete. This can be for improving your performance at home, in your personal lives, in your business world. Whether you're in middle management, you're an employee of, you're an employer of, you want to change, you're a senior executive, you want to change the culture of your organization, mental performance training and our Be a Beast training can do that with our Be a Beast training series, our video series, one-on-one coaching. We've got the resources. What we need you to do is engage, contact us direct. 888-888-2136. Easier yet, text the word BEAST to 313131 or click through at nelsonradio.com. Coming up, Michael O'Neill, host of the Monsters Solopreneur Hour podcast, Job Security for the Unemployable, next on Be a Beast.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Be a Beast on Nelson Radio spends a lot of time vetting out true professionals. Insurance Inc. is one of our best. Cutting premiums up to 40%. Insurance Inc. We want you to contact them direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or go to insuranceinc.com.
Protect your family's future with an AmeriState Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriState Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriState Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriState Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136 or text BEAST to 313131.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio, our Be a Beast training series with myself, Nelson, business leader and professional coach, and my special co-host, Dave Austin, mental performance coach. Contact us for our training, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. We've got a great guest here, Dave.
Oh, we promised you we'd bring Michael O'Neill. Now, has anybody out there ever felt like they're unemployable? I mean, he's got the answer. He has a podcast, Solo Entrepreneur. I always say it wrong, the hour.
Solopreneur Hour.
we busted up, but this podcast, it has a huge following, vibrant conversations, candid insights, and probably more importantly, the advice of the proudly unemployable, people who are prime for real prosperity.
Michael, welcome to the show.
Nelson and Dave, thank you for having me. How are you?
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Give us that snapshot. Share with us your testimony. What led to this podcast?
So a few years ago, I lost both of my parents, and they both died within 7 months of each other, but they were sick for about 4 years. And if you know anything about the U.S. healthcare system, my life was kind of, mom falls and breaks her hip, but needs about 24 days of rehab, but insurance pays for 10. It's $2,000 a day. And I ended up, at the time, I was a creative director at a Fortune 500 company, and had the six-figure gig, lived in Boulder, Colorado, owned the house, the two cars, had the whole, had the dream.
It was all going right.
It was all good. And with that kind of Sophie's choice, which is like, I need to help my situation or I need to pay my mortgage, I ended up losing the house, the cars, the 401k, the retirement, the whole bit. And in 2008, I had a guy that was going to mentor me, and he said, I can't do it. You've had so much chaos in your life over the last 4 years that you haven't even had a chance to mourn. And it was the first moment sitting on this guy's couch that I said, it was like that first scene in Saving Private Ryan where it dawned on me, my dad died, and then, oh yeah, my mom died. And I broke down on his couch. And one of my dreams as a successful adult was, my dad was the kind of guy that would drive across country in a Winnebago but wouldn't jump on a flight to Paris for 6 hours. Right. So I wanted to surprise them with a trip to Europe. That was a thing I wanted to do as an adult. Yeah. And at that moment on that guy's couch, I said, I'm going to do it anyway. So I got a little Italian Parmesan cheese shaker, and I got their ashes, and I took them all over Europe for 4 months. So they're on the beaches of Normandy. They're in the Sistine Chapel. Yeah. And sometimes I had to go a little Shawshank Redemption with it because you're not allowed to spread ashes in the Sistine Chapel. And it was just this really amazing time of healing for me. Yeah. And I came back. I landed on my connecting flight from Brussels to Boulder, landed in Washington, D.C., and I had $14.
What'd you do with all that money?
Yeah, it was like, wow. I think I got a taco. No, and it wasn't like I better hit the ATM, but I literally had $14. And so my brother picked me up from the airport, and I was sitting on his guest bed, a couple hours later, and it was like, then what? I'm 37. I I only knew one thing. I don't know if you've ever seen The Princess Bride, but at the end of the movie, Wesley says to his buddy Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. He says, well, what are you going to do now? Inigo says, I don't know. I've been in the revenge business my whole life. And that's kind of how I felt, which is like, I knew how to be a web guy and a designer and a branding guy, but I knew I never wanted to work an hour for $1 anymore. And that's really sort of what started this journey.
You're listening to Nelson Radio with Be a Beast with Michael O'Neill, Solopreneur Hour, thesolohour.com, and a podcast that's now lending a hand down, reaching a hand down to others that you want to help up and give them a spotlight.
Right. I realized that I was truly, I think what happened was after that moment, I immersed myself in so much entrepreneurial reading. I have these books I talk about on my show called The Sexy Six, which if you read them in this order, you can have the same front door, but you will open your door to a completely new landscape if you read them in this order. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Sure. Cash Flow Quadrant, that's the first two. The 4-Hour Workweek is number 3. The book that I think if you interviewed 500 millionaires, they would all say they read, which is The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, is number 4. Strengths Finder 2.0 by Tom Rath is number 5. And then Crush It by Gary Vaynerchuk if you're going to do anything online. You read those 6 books and
you've got it.
You've got an entirely new perspective. And the problem with that is if you read those 6 books and then go try to punch the clock somewhere, you're going to realize that you're completely unemployable because you know too much. You've learned too much about the other side and what time freedom and financial freedom looks like.
Give us a snapshot, a guest that you've had on your program where they left a thumbprint with you.
Well, I just had a recent one that was amazing. This woman named Amy Porterfield, who's known for doing these big launches. She does affiliate marketing, so somebody else has a product, and she promotes the product with Facebook ads and then does a webinar and then does essentially what live speakers and trainers have been doing, which is kind of the back-of-the-room sale, if you will, and did $227,000 on in one day, in a night. On that particular launch, which is a pretty good day at the office as far as I'm concerned. But the bigger story is I asked her, what would she do right now if she had $1,000? Like, how much money could she turn $1,000 into, knowing what she knows, but with nothing else? And she said, I can turn it into $10,000. And I said, okay, that means the only difference between her and everybody else who happens to have $1,000 in their bank account is just a little bit of knowledge. You can learn Facebook ads. You can learn how to build a funnel, and all of a sudden, you're multiplying your income 10x.
And Dave, you deal with this all the time when you're mental performance coaching. You're taking somebody that maybe has a hint of disbelief or a life event like you had, Michael, where that distraction comes in, gets you off track, and getting centered again is the key.
Oh, absolutely. And the whole Be a Beast program, that's why we created it, is so that everything you're talking about, when you go through our Beast program, that's the kind of results we expect. You get in this program, you shift your whole way of thinking. I had a player for the Washington Nationals that said he hired me because he wanted more base hits. And after 2 weeks, he goes, wow, I didn't know I was going to get a whole new perspective on life. So it becomes much bigger than just a base hit. It becomes your whole life mission. You really tap into your purpose, which Michael here is a great example. He went through a tragedy, but then he turned it into the greatest gift of all, and now he's passing that gift on with what he's doing on his podcast.
And Michael, so with that, I mean, you obviously experienced the left turn, the who would have thunk, that something that came out of nowhere and then it disrupted your entire mission and vision. You got back on course, and now, I mean, it's got to be a delight to have the kind of impact on others. You're giving those others the same chance.
Yeah, it's really fun. A couple things about it is, number one, I think anybody can leverage their existing skill set into a new business. That's one of the real keys I focus on in the show, because I try to take people from that moment where they discover they're unemployable until what they've done to become successful.
And the volume of people out of the Great Recession. I mean, there's...
Oh, yeah. A lot of people find themselves sort of, unintentionally, unemployed. But yeah. I think I'm what I would consider proudly unemployable, meaning that I really, really appreciate what I'm doing and the impact I'm having. But here's what's cool we've got so much social media, so much training and ability out there to reach a broad audience that anybody that has any skill set can learn. I mean, you can be great at Excel spreadsheets and then literally make a living teaching people how to be great at Excel spreadsheets using YouTube, using podcasts, using Udemy, things like that. So I just love that this can impact pretty much everybody that has ever done anything.
And I love the passion, too. You can just see the energy come alive. The studio's coming alive with him just going, yeah, I'm jazzed on helping each other.
Well, he's got a shirt saying, I am unemployable. It's yellow. And when he said that, his whole chest came out. He was like, yeah, I'm unemployable.
Michael, the unemployable, we want you to stay with us. We're going to bring Roger Anthony out of the bush and anchor this very principle. Stay with us. You're listening to Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You can contact us direct, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. Coming up, Roger Anthony.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
This is Nelson with Be a Beast Radio, and I'm coaching you to contact Brian Chu from O.C. Wills and Trust. Be prepared for the inevitable. He can contact you, direct you on your estate plan, and for veterans, qualified veterans 65 or older, there is the possibility of a $25,000 tax-free VA benefit. O.C. Wills and Trust provides a free evaluation as to whether you or your loved ones can qualify. Find out more, 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136, or text BEAST to 313131.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Friends with the monster that's under my bed. And you think you're crazy, yeah, you think
And this is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio on KLAA AM 830 with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, and myself, Nelson. We're with Michael O'Neill, and we're bringing Roger Anthony out of the bush. And it's a perfect segue to listen to how our learning anchor system can develop these mind triggers to snap us back into performance. That's what we want for you. You can contact us at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or text the word BEAST to 313131.
Just one trigger, one word can bring you right out of it. And that's the beauty of this. I mean, that's the beauty. Once you learn how to go through this program, or you go through the program, snap. It becomes easy. It's not as difficult. I mean, look at what Michael talked about, how he shifted. And so we got to go to the bush. I'm so happy that we have technology that can actually get into the bush and bring Roger out right now. Roger Anthony, you're with us, and Michael O'Neill.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Nelson. And Michael, really enjoyed your section of the show, and wanted to personally congratulate you on being able to take a negative situation and turn it into a positive. In this busy world that we live in, with technology and information pouring in at a rate unprecedented in the history of planet Earth, it's so important that we're able to remember key anchors, key principles when we need them the most. And so our training program has 37 animal characters. Each one of them has their own little story, and they have their name, which is the actual trigger, so that when you need to remember and get in the groove and make sure that you're game ready all the time, no matter what field of work you're in or what field of life you're in, we're able to remember the principle there and then on the spot, because the mind works best by far with short little trigger mechanisms. And so listening to you, Michael, and the challenges that you had earlier, not that long ago, but the challenges that you had that left you in a situation where you were flat broke and you didn't know what to do with your life, and you turned it around in a very short space of time. What came to my mind is one of the 37 animal characters, which is a brown bear or a grizzly bear. Pound for pound, one of the strongest animals on the planet. the big thing about these bears is they're incredibly resilient and optimistic at all times. I mean, I've seen them, dig yams out of the ground and eat roots and eat berries, almost vegetarian. And when they have to, they are able to catch fish. And in one particular case, I saw a documentary on a bear that chased down a deer in full flight and was able to catch it at a tremendous speed, never gave up, and was able to reach its target. So, I think of you, Michael. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 19. I'm 71 now. And the name of the bear, the trigger name to help us remember at all times and never give up, is Resio, the bear. R-E-S-I for India, R-E-S-I-O. The R-E-S-I stands for resilience, and the O at the end of Resio is optimism. And so as a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, we must never give up. We should always be resilient and optimistic at all times. And listening to your story, a thought comes to my mind that is this, that we use in our program: the greater the trial or tribulation, the greater the blessing just around the corner. Most of the time in our lives, we need those tough challenges to nudge us into the channel of our true mission and purpose. You would probably never ever thought of this as a profession for you, Michael, but here you are now, not only successful in a short space of time, but helping other people understand that true freedom comes when you are able to do what you feel in your heart is your higher purpose and passion. So, mate, you are a grizzly bear. You are Resio, my friend.
I love it. I love Resio. It's one of my keys, I think, to this whole thing was I've never compared up. For whatever reason, I found myself, I guess, fortunate. I don't know if it's fortunate for everybody, but it's right when Hurricane Katrina hit, and the news was full of people that had literally lost every single thing they'd ever have, their house, all of their family, all of their keepsakes, everything they had. And I looked at that and I said, you know what? I'm a white guy in America. I have a skill set. I'm a male. I can do.
I'm unemployable.
Yeah. Well, at the time I didn't know that yet, but I just knew that there were advantages and things that I had that I said, okay, you know what? There's people that have it a lot worse than I do, and I'm not going to compare myself to. There's podcasters that are wildly more successful than I am right now, but that's not who I'm comparing myself to. I just have my own story to tell.
And that's what's so powerful, Dave, because it's having that conviction, just like you talk about in every one of our shows, the choice. Something comes up, and it can become something better. There can be unbelievable stories, unbelievable testimonies out of tragedy.
Well, absolutely. And I love the fact that you're now a grizzly bear. It fits you, man. Resio, you're no longer, this is what we do on this show now, Michael. To us, you're no longer Michael. You're Resio.
I like Resio.
And Resio is going to resonate with you. As we close our show, we focus on our sponsor orphanage down in Moshi, Tanzania. Started by Rita Langland, right out of Orange County, California, had a heart for the AIDS pandemic, opened up this orphanage, is now bringing in children, and we want to showcase this one girl, a precious, precious little girl by the name of Helena. She was brought to Treasures of Africa, or TOA as it's known. 9-year-old girl. Get this, Michael. Her father died. Her mother abandoned her. She and her sister were living with an alcoholic uncle. I mean, these aren't good ingredients, right? And he became ill. The grandparents were elderly. They couldn't take care of either one of them, so they were brought to Treasures of Africa. They're now being provided clean drinking water, education, clothing, a safe harbor to be raised in, but best of all, and so fitting with our Be a Beast training, best of all, these kids are being raised to become difference makers back in their community. Exactly what you're doing with your podcast, what we're doing with our Be a Beast training. Something happens, life gets in the way, turn destructive into constructive, and make something of it. And that's what I just love about these kinds of stories.
Well, in everything in life, doesn't matter, if you're unemployable or if you're employed right now, you can make more an impact in your company. These are choices. A lot of people just live by remote control, and that's not living.
I think that talk about comparing down is having that kind of story and having to think about what's wrong in your own life when you have people all over the world that are going through this kind of suffering and are still resilient. They are still Rizio, right?
Yeah.
And I'll say, just as the Be a Beast, it gives you a sense of pride for someone who just got a beast assigned to them, right? It's like, I feel great about it. And it probably wouldn't matter what the beast was. It would all resonate.
The unemployable grizzly bear with Rezio. You'll be able to find out more. We'll have this on our web platform, nelsonradio.com. You can also call us direct. Get engaged in our training, 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. You can become a grizzly bear, a beast, with our Be a Beast training. nelsonradio.com. We want to hear from you. Simply text the word BEAST 313131, and we'll get you engaged. Great show.